Hello guys, and welcome back to another Hunter's Prestige fitment video. On today's video, we're going to be showing you how to fit the Hunter's exhaust tips for both the petrol and also the diesel. Okay, tools required for this job. All you need is a 15mm spanner or ratchet spanner. I prefer to use a ratchet spanner because it takes a little bit less time. So this is how the exhausts turn up. So you get it in our nice Hunter's branded box, lovely and protected, like you can see here. And extra context of the box. So this is for a diesel model. So it's actually a dual exit. So you get one exhaust tip, and our branding's covered up on the side just to protect that. You also get two exhaust clamps as well. So obviously for the petrol, it's a single exit. So you only have one of the cones here, and you actually get two clamps as well, obviously because it's single exit. So let's get into how we fit these to the vehicle. Right, so we're gonna get started now. So if you do have a car mat laying about, I'm gonna use a car mat because I'm hitting my 30s soon and I've got a bad back. Okay, so step one for fitting the exhaust tips, what you're going to do is get your clamps that we supply. So again, if this is a diesel, you've got two clamps for this, and on the petrol we also have two clamps, but it's actually a single exit, so you have one for each side. So what we're going to do is we're going to just loosen off that clamp just so we can get it on the end of the exhaust tip. And we're going to do it both ways. Now it's very, very important that you actually get these clamps the correct way, so the nut is actually facing inwards, as you can see here. So the reason we do it like this is obviously because it hides the ugly nut on the outside and actually makes it a lot easier for you to tighten. Obviously, if you do it the other way around, you can have too much thread showing. So it's nice and clean that way, it just looks factory. So you want to put the exhaust clamps as far as you can on the end of the exhaust tips. So obviously there's not a lot of exhaust on the vehicle to actually attach it to. So you want it to be basically on the edge. And then when you actually place them on, you want to get the front flush as possible. Basically, they are angled exhausts, so the pipes do go down slightly. So what you want to do is just try and partner that up and just pair it as well as possible. You should feel it go straight on anyway. But as you can see, basically where the weld is of that is the furthest point that basically the exhaust tip should be hitting. So you just want to make sure that they're fully on. Obviously, you want to look underneath the vehicle and make sure that the exhaust tips are hitting the welds all the way around like so. Okay, so once you're sure that that is exactly where they sit, obviously you want to look around the whole of the exhaust underneath just to make sure that the exhaust tips are on there firmly and they're actually symmetrical all the way around and basically hitting the welds. Once that's done, using your hands, I'd just tighten up those nuts, just finger tight, that will stop it from moving. You just want to make sure that the actual clamps are sitting on the ends of the exhaust still, so sometimes they do move if they're a little bit too loose. Just make sure they're pushed in as far as possible, just finger tighten them. And the next thing you want to do is just get your 15mm spanner and basically just tighten those up. Obviously they won't go ridiculously tight, but you want to make sure that they're as firm as possible. Obviously if you're going too tight, you actually do risk actually bending the exhaust tips. So you basically want to do them basically so when you feel it, they do not come off. You'll know anyway when you're tightening up, and the nut tension will just get really, really tight. And it'll be a struggle to actually pull it down. Okay, for the diesel and petrol, the actual levelness of it is a little bit different. For the diesel, there is a dual exit, so there's not much movement for this exhaust tip, but for the petrol, it is just a single exit each side of the vehicle. So there is a little bit of movement that you can go left and right. So you can use your eyes just to make sure it's as straight as possible, or if you wanted to, you can put spirit level over the twin exhaust, and then you'll be able to make sure that it's straight. But you can always walk away from the vehicle just to actually check that it is straight and looks good from a little bit further away, but you'll just get as low as possible. Okay, so a common question we get asked a lot about our exhaust tips is, does it change the sound of the exhaust? Obviously they are just exhaust tips, so you won't actually get any change in noise, and also it doesn't improve any of your performance because they are just exhaust tips. So that is the end of our fitment video on how to fit our exhaust tips. Obviously it is exactly the same process to follow for the diesel exhaust as it is for the petrol. So obviously you've got two exhausts on the petrol and only one on the diesel. So if you've got any questions, feel free to drop it in the comment section below or contact our sales team. We'd be more than happy to help. See you in the next video.